story, the fantastically true story, of Herbert A. Philbrick, who for 9 frightening years did lead 3 lives. Average citizen, high-level member of the Communist Party, and counter-spy for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For obvious reasons, the names, dates, and places have been changed, but the story is based on fact. This week's story concerns a plot to slow down our defense effort by disrupting the transportation system. This is one of the regular routines in the life of many an average man. It's a famous American game called hide and seek. The newsboy hides the paper, and you seek it.
Hello, son.
Hi, Dad. You're a little early. It's awfully early even for Dad. He must have something really important on his mind. What happened, Dad? They changed the bus schedule?
They better not, or I'll start a bus line of my own. I warned them. No, son, I thought I'd drop round early enough to steal some of that new tobacco you gave me the other night.
Oh, sure, Dad, sure. Here you are, help yourself. Dad's not a very good poker player. When he has something on his mind, it shows in his face. He'll make a few false starts, then he'll come to the point.
Say, where's Eva? Driving the kids to school?
Yes, sir, Dad. Your grandchildren are chauffeur-driven to school.
Seen the headline in the paper, son?
No.
Railroad strike threatened.
My hunch is right. A railroad man would have something on his mind this morning, especially one with 24 years of service under his belt.
I don't get it, Herb. Look, you're in the advertising business. You're not exactly labor, you're not exactly management. Maybe you see something I don't.
Well, what's the argument?
That's just it. There isn't any argument. I know what I'm talking about, Herb. I'm keen about my job. You know that. I tell you, the men don't want to strike. They're happy, the company's happy.
Well, then, where's the rub? The men must want something.
Sure, they made their demands. Small increase in pay, change in the retirement pension, a couple of new safety rules on some new machines. Railroads agreed on every count, and both sides will sign that way tomorrow, if a strike isn't called first.
I don't get it. Why will strike if the men are happy?
Jackpot question, Herb. I wish I knew the answer. Look, son, you're what the lawyers call a disinterested party. Now, supposing something happened...
8:30, we gotta be on our way, Dad.
Yeah. Herb, all right if I drop round tonight? We get a better chance to talk then.
Oh, sure, Dad, sure. Anytime, you know that. It's a good feeling to leave your house on a pleasant morning. Spending a little time with a father that you've always been terribly fond of takes you back to normal a little bit. A chance to concentrate on being an average citizen going to work. You can forget for a few minutes that you're a member of the Communist Party. That you're faithfully reporting all communist activities directly to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. You can almost forget for a few minutes that there's even such a thing as a communist. Yeah, almost. Is this one of them? Are the comrades getting an early start today? Is he going to smoke his cigarette like a few million other people do? Or is he going to drop it from his left hand, squash it out with his left foot? Tag, Philbrick. You're it. Looks like it might be an average day after all. An average day of a fellow trying at the same time to be a working man and a counter-spy. Pretty slick. Just another commuter batting his brains out over just another crossword puzzle. I'd never spot him in a million years as an active contact man for the Communist Party. I wonder what kind of job he has as a front. I wonder why he's contacting me so early. Waste no words. What'll it be this time? It says urgent. Could there be any connection between this and Dad's problem? If there is, it's easy to understand why Dad's confused. No point in guessing or keeping this to yourself. Just get word to the Bureau and get yourself covered. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to meet you for lunch. I forgot I promised my kids to take them to the zoo this noon.
Oh? Well, perhaps we'll get together another time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but well, you know how kids are. Once they've got you, they never let you go.
Yeah? Well, you can't blame them. That's important to them.
Sure is. You should have seen how they railroaded me into this. Well, anyway, I'm sorry about the lunch, but I guess you understand.
Sure I do. Have a good time. See you.
Bye. So much for that. Nothing to do now except concentrate on your advertising business until 12 o'clock. The man said noon. The man said the zoo. But the man didn't say where. Well, where else, Philbrick? Go look at the Russian bears, why don't you?
It's the railroad workers. We gotta hit them hard and fast, without them knowing who's doing the hitting, without anyone knowing who doesn't have to.
Where do I come in?
Leaflets. You write copy for a living, it's up your alley. You'll be checked by an expert. You just use the right 100% American words that'll convince them to strike.
But the men don't want to strike.
Who cares? We're not for the men. We're not for the company. We are for the strike. Hit that hard. Hammer it home. We've come a long way with this. We don't want to lose it now.
We're for the strike, but we skip the issues, huh?
On the nose, we... Make it hot. Remember, a railroad strike here can spread across the country in 24 hours. Mushroom into an industrial paralysis. Textiles, steel, auto manufacturing, hit the railroad, hit them all.
When do I start?
Right now, everything's set up and waiting for you.
Sure, all details attended to. Standard operating procedure. And they'll stay up all night, any night, to do it. While the rest of us worry if we're getting enough sleep. Steady, Philbrick. Start thinking like a communist. You're going to have to write like one.
You'll have help all along. Every inch of the way has been carefully planned. You start when we leave here.
Can I finish?
With the strike tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning? I gotta go to my office. I've got work to do. I told my wife I'd meet her.
Call your wife on the way out. Come on, this thing is big. Let's get to a phone.
It's always the same. Brush off your work, tell your wife you'll be home when you get there. A sweet setup. Well, quit crying, Philbrick. The comrades play it that way. So do you if you want to play with them.
I need some cigarettes.
Maybe this is my last chance at a phone before morning when the damage will be done. Maybe, if I get the chance, I'll make it sound like a call to the office, but dial the FBI instead. Maybe. Miss Bedoni, Mr. Philbrick. Look, cancel all my appointments for the rest of the afternoon, will you? And then call my wife. Tell her I don't know when I'll be able to get home. Thank you. My secretary will take care of everything.
I know. I heard her. Let's go.
Lucky you made the right call, Philbrick. It's much too early in the game for a slip now. A house that looks like every other house on the block. That's the way the communists like their blinds. Common, run-of-the-mill, above suspicion. And the same thing goes for party members. Run-of-the-mill types, run-of-the-mill names, average occupations and backgrounds. This one, profession, retired. Former occupation, printer.
You have the copy?
Yes. All except the last line. I'm not sure about it. See what you think. Remember, the railroad belongs to the men who run it, and so does the country.
Strike out the last part, about the country. It sounds too much like party line. The railroad men must think that other railroad men wrote this, or we shall fail.
They said an expert would check me, but I didn't expect an industrial psychology expert whose picture I've seen in the paper a dozen times.
The rest is all right. It's well written. Your own work?
Must be at least 1,000 different kinds of butterflies in the world.
At least.
If I answered his question, I'd be on the red carpet before morning as a blabbermouth. The communists talk a lot, but only when there's a chance of it paying off.
You like them?
I can take them or leave them alone.
Come with me.
Sometimes an underground printing press isn't underground at all. Sometimes it's on the second floor of a suburban home. I can hear the neighbor's description now. Harmless old coot who saves butterflies. That's not all he saves. A man's skilled hands, a case of type, a man's party line mind. Put them all together and they can literally spell out vicious lies every time. Wonder why he isn't satisfied just collecting butterflies. I wonder who he thinks he's getting even with. In a few days, someone else is going to be setting type. Someone in the FBI. They'll be setting your name, your address, your former occupation, your present occupation. They'll have a lot to say about you. Father will go for this.
This press is older than the party. I'll have to fix it.
Be quite a while?
A couple hours, maybe.
What do I do, stick around?
No need to. Come back here at 3:30, but when you leave, use the back entrance.
Okay.
That leaflet you put in your pocket.
What? Yeah.
about it? Oh.
And another thing, when Comrade Nichols picks you up at 3:30, be sure you stay with him every minute. Secrecy is imperative today. He is not to be left alone. Those are party orders.
Which can be interpreted another way. Philbrick isn't to be left alone. If I stick with him, he's sticking with me. What a spot to find the buddy system. The man said. Like all comrades, he'll be punctual. The leaflets will be ready for all the damage that a scheme like this can cause. And now it starts. To a casual observer, a man picking up a package of papers. To me, a bundle of dynamite. No way yet to step on the fuse. Will pick up. Now the comrades will hit hard and fast. They'll be well organized to get these leaflets out in the shortest possible time. To the public, just another vacant store being temporarily used by a house-to-house sales force. To me and a few other select people, Communist Party Propaganda Distribution Center. Regular headquarters out in the open can't be used this time. The party doesn't want to be identified with a leaflet under any circumstances.
Now, when those leaflets get here, I don't want any time wasted. I want them distributed in a hurry. You got them?
He's bringing them in the bag. The psychology expert again. He'll think of every angle.
Mary, on your way. Go to the railroad station with these.
Leaflets for the men in the yards, for the men on the trains, for the workers in the roundhouses, the freight depots, the time clocks, the bulletin boards. He knows them all, and he misses none of them. Target number one, a hard worker, a good union man, a good company man, a natural enemy to the communists. The new shift coming on. They're important. Get these men to stop working before they ever start, and the battle's half won. Kind of safety rule. Strike or subject yourself to communist violence. You're taking good care of that locomotive, mister. Be sure to take good care of yourself. Quit working before you're forced to quit. Talk it over, fellas. You know what's best for you. Don't risk your necks. Don't risk anybody's neck. See to it that these trains don't run. They overlook no one. Each and every worker is important in this effort. It's a nice choice. Leave your job or take a chance on having your head in bandages. And so it goes, hour after hour. There's no such thing as an expense account, and overtime is a capitalistic dirty word. Not much time left. Just a few more stops and still no way to contact the FBI. Maybe they've been following me. Maybe they've picked up a clue. Yeah, maybe. Wish I could stop thinking about tonight. I'm thinking about a lot of railroad men who are going to be duped into starting a strike because of a lot of double talk. or worse, who are going to be scared into a strike by the words I wrote about scabbing. Those words plus just enough action on the part of the comrades to make the words stick. How can I let the FBI know what's coming off? Get to a phone? Not a chance. Just hope, Philbrick, that you've been trailed all the way. Hope hard. Happy days. Now make contact, Philbrick, some way. Now the race starts. What can the FBI do in the short space of time left before the communist strong-armed squads arrive at the railroad station?
Attention, please. The Bluebird, track 9, scheduled to depart at 6:40, now loading.
Unfortunately, the leaflets didn't do too much good. Almost all of the men showed up for work. But that's because they didn't believe what they read. Now, that's where you men come in. Make them believe it. If you take care of a few, the rest will run. And remember what they read in the leaflet.
I'll take care of the conductor.
All right. Not too hard, but hard enough. Now, Ben, you and Jesse get the engineer. And the fireman, too, if necessary. Now, don't forget. If we do our work right, and this train and the others that are getting the same treatment don't run, we're set. It will snowball from there. Now, go on.
Than you bargained for, isn't it, comrades? You wanted to play rough, but not that rough. When a company wants men to work and the union wants them to work, you'd better face the facts. This just isn't your day, comrades.
Attention, please. The Bluebird, track 9, departing on schedule. Attention, please. The Bluebird, track 9, departing on schedule. Departing on schedule. Departing on schedule. Departing on schedule.
Anybody home?
Yeah, Dad, in here. Well, I hoped you might make it for supper. You said you'd drop by.
I was held up a little at the railroad. It looked like there was going to be some trouble for a while.
Yeah, what kind of trouble?
That strike we were talking about this morning?
Didn't come off, did it? I just heard the radio say
No,
that.
no, it didn't come off.
What happened?
I'm not sure, Herb. I can't exactly understand it. Oh, a bunch of hotheads out for trouble, I guess. Anyway, the men called their bluff. They showed up for work in spite of all the big words about what would happen if they did.
And no violence?
Oh, not a bit. Just bluff from beginning to end, I guess.
I guess. Look, Dad, why don't you sit down and make yourself at home? Eve will be down in a minute. She's tucking the kids in bed. I got some work to do upstairs, or I'd stick around. You don't mind, do you?
No, no, you go on. I'll get up before I leave. Good night, son. Good luck with your work.
Thanks, Dad. But I've had all the luck I'll need for today. They weren't bluffing, Dad. They don't know the meaning of the word. They meant business, dirty business. No, I don't need any more luck today. Now I've got facts and figures. I've got something concrete. I've got evidence, and I know exactly what to do with it. This attempted to coerce a union through force and violence. The government stepped in. and a communist-sponsored strike that would have been disastrous to the Union, to the company, and to the welfare of the nation at large was completely averted. Next week, another story of communist activities from the files of Herbert A. Philbrick, counter-spy, a man who for 9 years posed as a member of the Communist Party.